Hello everyone, this is Bobit once again and welcome back to Module 2. For this video, let's now move to the meat of our discussion in this module. Pag-usapan na natin ang iyong main sources of business ideas. And once again, dahil nga problem solvers tayo as entrepreneurs, this discussion will focus on sources of problems. Kasi nga, solving people's problems is our business. Pero bago tayo pumunta doon, let me first teach you about two kinds of problems that you could be solving. These are painkiller problems and vitamin problems. So what are painkiller and vitamin problems? Para mapaliwanag ito, let's remember that a painkiller is something that, when we need it now. If we experience pain, we can't wait to ingest painkillers to rid ourselves of the pain. A vitamin, on the other hand, is a nice to have. You drink vitamins every day not because you're experiencing pain and to relieve yourself from it, but to potentially prevent any illnesses and to strengthen your immune system. These are benefits that honestly you don't necessarily feel, diba? You hope that they work, but you're not really sure. As such, you can live without vitamins. But this is not the same with painkillers. Again, kasi if you need painkillers, you need it now. So in line with this analogy, painkiller solutions are generally easier to sell compared to vitamin solutions. Pag-uusapan natin ang marketing and sales in the later modules, but for now, it's important that you know the difference between painkiller and vitamin problems. With this, meron tayong bias towards problems that people desperately need to be fixed now and not nice-to-have problems that are not desperately felt by people. Kasi when people experience pain and they desperately need it to be fixed, they will be willing to pay top dollar, or in our case, top peso, for you to fix it. Having said that, let's continue. We have three main sources of problems to share with you. From your perspective, these can be real painkiller problems, so listen closely. The first source of problems is in your workplace or the company you work for. And if you're unemployed, essentially your workplace is where you spend the most time in during the day. So if you're a housewife, your workplace is technically the home. Okay, so your workplace or your company is our first suggestion because it presents many advantages to you. Such as, number 1, problems here are more obvious to you as you go through them every day. Compare that to a problem or a situation in a different industry that you've only heard of for the first time, diba? Number 2, problems here are more specialized and more attuned to you as well. Working in the company has provided you the skills to be able to attack this problem head on. And number 3, you already have the network for this. Sino-sino? Well, first off, colleagues who also understand the problem and can help you refine a solution for it. And even bosses who will most probably act as decision makers when you sell to your old company. Kaya nga naman, gaya ng sabi natin in the first module, napakahalaga that you establish your network before leaving your job. So let's get a little more specific here by using some example sources of problems in your workplace. First, let's stick to small, everyday problems that you can probably solve via a business very quickly. So what are some of these small, everyday problems that come to mind? Number 1, affordable lunch delivery. Normal na problema ng employees in the office ang pagbili ng tanghalian. Madalas, pag lunchtime, mag-e-elevator pa from a very high level all the way down to the ground floor. Syempre, sabay-sabay na maglalunch ang employees ng buong building, so sobrang tagal at haba ng pila sa elevator, and this takes up a bulk of the lunch hour of employees. Same thing with cafeterias or restaurants. Sabay-sabay kakain ng mga tao, so posibleng mahaba rin ang pila sa mga restaurants. At syempre, bukod pa dito, baka mahal din ang pagkain sa labas, so budget becomes a problem. Ubus na nga oras mo, baka 3 pirasong siomai at 2 cups lang kanilang mabili mo. Hindi ba sobrang laking ginhawa kung merong lunch delivery service sa office mo at sa lahat ng offices in your building? Hindi ka na mag-uubos ng oras sa elevator at pipila sa mga kainan. Tapos mas mura pa siya than a 1-piece Chicken Joy meal ng Jollibee. Number 2, carpool services for employees. We all know how bad traffic is and how painful commuting can be. At the same time, pag nagdala ka naman ng kotse, ang gastos naman sa gasolina at sa parking. A lot of employees are open naman to carpooling. Ang problema lang, walang nagsistep up to offer carpooling services. And hey, maybe you're the person to do it. Try it out first with some of your friends in the office who live near you. One day, ikaw magdadala ng kotse. On other days, sila naman. Hatid sundo para sa lahat. And if you feel that it works and it's not so hard to execute, then set up a business for it. Maybe you can get a second-hand van, get commitments from various people, not just in your office, but also in your office building, and charge for house-to-office private van services. Imagine the convenience that you'll bring to people. No more bad commutes, no more tiring drives, no more wasted money on gas and parking. Pwede pa silang matulog sa van. Surely, this is something that office people can and will be willing to pay for, right? These are just a few examples of small everyday problems that you can solve in the workplace. But if you want to solve bigger and more difficult problems, well, sige, let's try that out too. These problems may be more difficult, but at the same time, they're definitely more enduring and equate to higher value. This means, mas malaki ang kikitain mo by solving these more difficult problems. In general, some of these problems are, number 1, a way to get more customers for your company. Number 2, a way to hire employees which will fit the company the best. Number 3, how to save on office utilities or electricity. Number 4, determining a mechanism for producing the best employee appraisal systems. Number 5, having company-wide software for increasing productivity and transparency. Number 6, a way to deliver a product or service faster with less cost. Number 7, an easy way to improve quality control measures. And honestly, many more that will help your company. Okay, this might be difficult to grasp for some people, so let's try to understand them better by providing a couple of examples. For our first example, I'll take you back in time from when I was still a college student. May professor sa college namin who was only teaching part-time. Why? Because he was running his own business. His business solves the problem that the consumer goods company Unilever had with distributing its products in far-flung provinces in the country. His distribution network focused in Batangas. His business distributes Unilever products not just to supermarkets, but also to sari-sari stores. He distributes millions of pesos worth of products every month. So how did he get started on this fantastic business? Sana nahulaan niyo na. He used to work in Unilever as a sales manager. He worked there for several years until he saw that Unilever, despite its massive size, still had important problems that it could not solve at the moment. He saw this as a huge opportunity, one that made him resign to start a business on it. This is the kind of huge opportunity that I would want for you to see in your workplace too. Hindi kaya ng Unilever na mag-distribute ng products to far-flung provinces? Maybe they don't want to focus their resources on solving this problem. Or maybe they don't have the necessary network to easily solve this problem. Then that's where you, or in this case, my college professor, comes in. Solve a significant problem for your company via your own business, and you'll surely be rewarded handsomely for it. The second example I have for you is from a different consumer goods company. This time, from Unilever's rival, P&G or Procter & Gamble. You see, the industry that Unilever and P&G operate in is called FMCG or fast-moving consumer goods. Work here is very hectic, and just like the turnover of their products, it requires employees to work fast as well. Ang daming deadlines, revisions, dami rin trabaho that will keep you on your feet. Syempre, given the nature of this kind of work, may mga deadlines na nami-miss, lalo na yung sa mga trabaho sa advertising agency. Publicity materials, videos, hindi kasi madali ang mga to at may mga pagkakataon na mabibreak talaga deadline mo. Pag na-break ang deadline mo, this will have consequences on your product sales and also your performance as an employee. Enter this one company called 24. This business is perfect for those who need advertising materials fast so you can meet deadlines because this business promises to produce advertising materials for you in just 24 hours. So pag alanganin ka na sa deadlines mo, get 24. They charge a premium for their services, mas mahal siya, but at least you'll meet your deadlines. Your product sales won't be affected and your performance targets won't get hit negatively. Ang galing ng 24, di ba? It perfectly solves its customers' problems that it seems to know so well. So, who started 24? Again, sana nahulaan nyo na. A former P&G employee started 24. He was experiencing the exact same problems when he was still a P&G employee. He knew the problems best, and at the same time, he knew the best way to solve these problems too. Again, this is the kind of huge opportunity that I would want for you to see in your workplace. Madaming ganitong pagkakataon, and based on these examples, it's clear that those in the workplace have a great opportunity to see problems, determine solutions, and tap networks within their old company that would help you land contracts to help your new company or your new business. Okay, after the first source of problems and business ideas, we move on to the second source. To see the second source, let's take a step back from the workplace and look at the bigger picture. This second source of problems and business ideas is in the industry that your company works for. Now again, if you're unemployed, by industry, you can take a look at other people like you in your similar situation. If you're a housewife, your industry is all of the other housewives. If you're a senior citizen, this is your fellow 20% discount card holders. If you're a student, this could be your school, or if you're addicted to gaming, this could be your other fellow gamers. So by industry, again going back to the workplace, I mean not just your company, but also your suppliers, your customers, and other stakeholders involved. Kunwari, we can take a look at your industry and see if, number one, suppliers are having a difficult time sourcing certain items. Maybe someone in your network can help you with this so you can also act as a supplier and make a business out of it. Number two, customers need more affordable suppliers. There are a lot of people who have started businesses on this premise. Kaya dumarami rin ang nag-i-import from China. With websites like Alibaba, the sky's the limit for affordable products from China and all over the world. Number three, customers need suppliers with better quality products. For this, you probably have to look past China and Alibaba, as products from here mainly focus on affordability and not necessarily quality. But once again, this is where your network can prove useful. Baka may kakilala ka who has the connections to quality suppliers from other countries, or maybe OFW friends who are working in other countries. Number four, there are no regulating bodies that can bring together all stakeholders and certify operations based on strict standards. Examples of these certifications are organic certifications, halal certifications, and fair trade certifications. Certifying bodies can serve as huge businesses. A quick example of this, for anyone in the retailing industry, are products in the grocery that claim to be organic, even if they have no certification whatsoever. May bigas in some supermarkets who do this, and this actually should be illegal. Problem for these product manufacturers is that sobrang mahal naman kasi magpa-certify. So maybe you can propose a cheaper solution. Take note that you can take the lead in creating certifying agencies. This can be a business that, at the same time, protects consumers like you and me from unscrupulous manufacturers. Having shared all these examples, I hope you can see that there are a lot of business opportunities around you. Take advantage of your current work. Maraming problems in your workplace and in your industry that you can turn into a viable business. So at this point, let's recap quickly. The first two sources of problems that you can look at. Number one is your work, and number two is the industry you work in. These two major sources of problems are very important to consider because you have an advantage here. Ikaw mismo ang nakakakilala sa industriya na to, so you will be able to understand the problems better. Now, I did say na may three main sources of problems that I can share with you, and we're done with the first two. In the next video, we will be discussing the third. So see you there!